Kurt Fury, thank you so much for joining us. I know that you have a lot that you want to share with us. Tell us, what is the key to a successful transition?
The key to a successful transition, in my understanding of years of experience, is when a buyer and a seller come together and both are happy with what they have. The buyer is buying a practice that he feels he's getting a fair price, or he's paying a fair price for, and the seller is selling his practice at what he feels is a high price for what he has done over the years. This dental practice that he has had for years is it's his family, and it means a lot to him, and it's very difficult for him to leave. And so he wants, but when he does leave, he wants to know that he has got a fair price for it.
Well, and it seems that you, in your role as the broker, can help develop the structure of the sale?
Well, yes, we develop the structure of the sale in teaching the dentist that is selling his practice what it's worth, and we help the new dentist who is buying it to know what to buy and how to buy it, and what he should look for. And he has to decide, is this practice for me? Will it provide the money that I need to help my family?
Sure.
Is this where we want to live? And so we have to bring both parties together. They have to feel good about each other. And we have just a very good group of people to work with as far as finding that right buyer for that dentist who's selling his practice.
All right. What is the proper time for a dentist to sell?
Well, that depends on the individual doctor. We have found that, and according to the ADA, only 6% of all dentists in the United States can retire comfortably at age 60. So a lot of these doctors will tell you, well, I'm going to practice until I'm 75 or 80. What they're really saying is they can't afford to retire. We have therefore put together a practice management company within our company that allows us to build a practice up for sale. If that doctor is producing lower than what he would like to have his practice sell for, then we will go in at his discretion and build that practice up several $1,000s, and maybe even put a hygiene department in there, so that practice, when it is finally ready to be sold and the appraisal is done on it, it can sell for a fee that is comfortable and commensurate with his ability or his desires to retire.
Now, confidentiality is always an issue when a practice is listed for sale. How do you manage this?
We have certain protocols that we've established in our company, and those protocols are designed predominantly and very importantly to keep the confidentiality so that it doesn't get out to the wrong people in the community that is saying that this doctor is going to sell his practice, and everybody then walks away from his practice because he's retiring. We need to preserve that integrity so that the buying doctor comes in, has a very good practice with which to operate.
Now, once a buyer becomes seriously interested in a practice, what's your role?
Our role there then is to take we begin with the appraisal, we take the tax records, we take everything with that practice and bring the buyer in and show him exactly where and how this practice has operated and what he can expect to get out of that practice as far as an income for he and his family. And then we will bring in the different funding groups, depending on who that is, and match the funder with that particular doctor and provide him the best service we can in providing the selling doctor with his retirement money or whatever it may be.
Now, once financing has been secured, is your job now finished?
No, once the financing has been finished, then we have to, and the funding is there, then we'll bring in the CPAs and the lawyers and whoever is necessary to make sure that this practice has been sold properly. We also pride ourselves in helping the selling dentist to preserve all of his assets. It's not how much you sell your practice for that counts. It's how much you put in the bank that counts. And so we've gone and spent several thousands of dollars working with attorneys across the country in developing a program that allows them to preserve the assets from that sale so that they don't end up giving the government upwards to 30 or 40% on the sale of that practice.
Now, you've brought the buyer and the seller together. You've assisted in each stage of the transition process, and now you come to the closing. So what part do you play in that?
In the closing, we bring all of the parties together at the same time at a common table. And we sit down and we go over all of the details in the contract. We facilitate the transfer of all of the monies into the different accounts, making sure that if there are any liens, that the liens are taken care of, and that the seller feels that he has got a good job and the buyer feels that he has bought a good practice.
So now, is it time to celebrate?
Well, you would think so, yes. You would hope so. But then, again, we have to make sure that that buying doctor has got a good practice, and so we will then take, just like we built the doctor up to sell his practice, built this practice up so that the doctor can sell his practice, we now go in and we have a follow-up program to where we ensure the success of that dentist. So we provide up to a year of management for that buying doctor so that his cash flow is on time, he can make his payments to the bank, he has taken money home to his family, and he feels like that he has bought a good practice, and now he can live in that community with pride.
So what words of advice do you have for a potential buyer or seller of a dental practice?
Well, for the seller, prepare to retire. Prepare to sell your practice 2 to 3, maybe even 5 years prior to that time that you want to exit out of your practice. Prepare for retirement. Don't just go up until the day before you're going to retire or a year before and you start cutting back. Your golf game gets better, and before you know it, you don't have anything left to sell. For the buyer, I would say find where you and your family want to live. It's most important that your family and your wife are happy where you live. So decide where you want to live, and then go find a practice that you want to buy in that particular area. We pride ourselves in finding that buyer a practice that will match he and his family and their dental philosophies. We feel it's very important that their dental philosophies are matched together.
Kurt, great advice. Thank you so much for sharing your time and expertise with us.
Well, thank you very much. Enjoy.